Okay, so what you could do is like a normal trinomial, it'll still work. What's 4 times 9? 36. What factors of 36 will add up to negative 12? Right, negative 6 to negative 6. So if I rewrote it as 4a squared minus 6ab minus 6ab plus 9b squared and grouped them, pulled out the GCFs, I'd get 2 of these. I get a 2a minus 3b and another 2a minus 3b. So you just would have it twice. It's the same thing as something squared. So even though you don't recognize it as one of those special ones, you can still get the right answer. Okay? So I just wanted to go over that again with you because we only had to do one of those for homework the other day. We didn't have one on the practice, but there could be one tomorrow on the quiz. I don't remember for sure. All right, number 1 of the practice quiz. 6x squared minus x minus 12. Is there a GCF? No. So I jumped down to number 4 because it's got 3 terms. Are they both positive perfect squares like the last one? No. So it's number 5, regular trinomial. My a value is 6, my b value is negative 1, my c value is negative 12. What do we got to do when the a value is bigger than 1? Multiply them. Numbers, the a times the c, right? Which is negative 72. So, what factors do I want? Anybody? 9 and negative 8. Good. When I multiply those, I get the negative 72. When I add those, I get the, oops. Should be negative 9 and positive 8, right? So we get the negative 1. Okay? So then I rewrite it. 6x squared minus 9x plus 8x minus 12. So I use the negative 9 and 8 in the middle so I can make it into a grouping problem, 4 terms. So then I group first 2, back 2. Since there's no negative sign there, I just put it right there and leave the plus in between. And then we start with the beginning, GCF. 3x is the GCF. Divide 6x squared by 3x, I get 2x. Negative 9x divided by 3x is negative 3. And 4 goes into both of those. Again, there's no negative in front of the 8, so it's just plus 4. And then 8x divided by 4 is 2x. And negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. And you see that we have the 2x minus 3 in the quantities. That's what we want, to have the same thing. So 2x minus 3 is one of my factors. And my other factor is the 3x and the plus 4, the GCFs you pulled out. Any questions? If I foil those together, I'll get what I started with. You can always check if you want to. Questions? Too easy for you guys, right? Number 2, you got 3x to the 4th minus 24xy. How so? What do I always do first? Which is? 3 and? Yeah, x also. Okay. So divide 3x into 3x to the 4th. I get x to the 3rd. Negative 24xy divided by 3x is negative 8y. Then I got to go further, right, Michael?
Yeah.
Why?
It's not solvable.
It's not factored completely, you mean? Or?
Yeah.
So how do I factor this more?
You get the cube root of 8 is good.
What else?
So it would be x minus 2y in parentheses.
If the y was what?
So cube.
Yeah. So you're on the right track, but since the y is not cubed, the 8's a perfect cube, the x cubed is a perfect cube, but since the y is not a cube, I can't go any further. All right? But if I had put a 3 up there, like maybe thought I was going to, but I forgot. Or if I would have dropped the y, and it would have just been x cubed minus 8, then we would have had to do more. But since that y is there, we're done. Can't do anything else. That's good you're looking for that. Because we always should keep going if possible. Number 3, we got 4 terms, so we're going to group it, but we should always do what first, Kennedy? Right, does this one have a GCF? Yeah, Kennedy. Yeah, 2. Good. So 6ax divided by 2 is 3ax. And negative 10ay divided by 2 is negative 5a1. And 12cx divided by 2 is 6cx. And negative 20 divided by 2 is negative 10cy. Okay, now it's got 4 terms, so what do I gotta do? Group it, right? Again, that's a plus, so that can stay outside. And got my 2, and then my first set of parentheses. And here I'm taking out GCF, which would just be an A. And 3ax divided by a is 3x, and 5ay divided by a is negative 5y. And over there, 2c is common. When I divide, I get 3x minus 5y again. Okay, so, Cody, what's my answer?
3x minus 5y. And 2a plus 2c.
This 2 is alone. So, right. And then that 2 you just keep up front. That's what it should look like. So if you had the 3x minus 5y and 2a plus 4c, which some of you might have had, you would miss a point because you forgot to pull out the 2 that would go into them. But everything else you did right. So always try to get the GCF out first. Questions on that one? Okay. Number 4. This one's an easy one. Is there a GCF? Nope. Got 3 terms, so number 2 and number 3 on my list is done. Number 4, are those both positive perfect squares? No. So number 5, regular trinomial. This is easier than like number 1 because what's my a value? 1, right? So I can go straight to my 2 sets of parentheses. The only way to get a squared is what times what? A times a, right? Now, all I worry about is the c value. What are the factors of negative 24 that add up to negative 10? Negative 12 and positive 2. That is correct. Okay, so you don't have to do what we did for number 1. Okay? Because it's 1 times negative 24, which is negative 24, but we know we're going to just use a times a to get the a squared. So don't do this. It's okay if you do, but it just takes longer. You don't have to do that when a is 1. Just go right to your 2 parentheses. Number 5, very similar to number 4. But some people in the past, that wouldn't be you guys, but some people in the past years, you guys are so much better than those people, right? They see a 4 there and go, oh my goodness, how do I do that? Right? We do it the same way we did the last one. Okay? A is 1. Again, there was no GCF and none of the other stuff. It's a regular trinomial. So I go right to my parentheses. Okay, so when it's a squared or x squared, we go x times x. Well, for x to the fourth, what do we do? Yeah, just cut it in half. Right? X squared times x squared. But a lot of people see this 4 and this 2 and they're thinking, well, it's different. No different. Okay? And then what are the factors of 5? AJ?
1 and 5.
Yeah, that's the only factors. It's prime. Do they add up to 6? Yeah. And since the C is positive, they're both whatever's in front of the B, so they're both plus, so +1, +5. Well, wait a minute. Is that a difference of squares? Should I go further? Is that a difference of squares?
No.
No. If it was a minus, then I'd have to go further, right? Percentage plus. I'm done. Simple. Questions? You okay? T and T, you all right? Good. All right. A lot of submissions for number 6 had like a question mark or an IDK, or they just didn't quite do it right. Okay? This one's an easy one. Okay? But we haven't done one for a while, so you're thinking more on the lines of the cube ones we do. But this is actually squares, right? One's a perfect square, it is a perfect cube, but 100's a perfect square, and we got an even exponent, right? So any variable to an even exponent is a perfect square. So that's one of those number 2's, difference of squares. So when we do these, we just go right to our 2 sets of parentheses, and then we take square roots. What's the square root of 1? 1. That goes in the front of both sets. What's the square root of 100x squared? 10x. That goes in the back of each one. Some of you would just put one set. Okay? And what do I do in between? Yeah, one's addition, one's subtraction. All right? So some of us were forgetting that there's 2 of them, and one's plus and one's minus. Some of you just put a minus, and some of you put a little 2 out there, like there's 2 of them. Okay? But this is what we do for difference of squares. So, first 6, halfway. Any questions? We doing? Is this helping? Hopefully you already knew all this. It's just really boring for you today because you got it down. Right, John? For you, it's just really easy, right? Yeah, because you didn't even have to do, you got it down. You didn't even have to do your practice quiz, right? Okay. All right, the last 6. So we got another one that's got 4 terms. So we know we're going to have to group it, but what do we always got to try to do first? GCF. Does this have a GCF? Oh, this one doesn't, does it? All right, so then we go ahead and group. So we get a 3b is common to those 2, and I get x minus 5y when I divide, plus, and I got a c in both, right? So I got an x minus 5y. That's nice. They're the same. So x minus 5y is 1. And 3b plus c is the other. Just a straightforward grouping problem. No GCF in the beginning. Okay. Number 8, it's like the first one. We got three terms, trinomial. Is there a GCF? No, there isn't, right? So A is bigger than 1. And these are not both positive perfect squares, so it's one of those regular trinomials, and I got to multiply. So Ashton, what is 8 times negative 15? Good. And Ashton, what'll work for the 14? What two factors of that give me the 14 when I add? Good. $20 times negative 6 is negative 120. And 20 plus negative 6 is 14. Right, Garrett? Put that in your pocket, please. Thanks. All right, so I'm going to rewrite it. So, John, go ahead. Tell me what to write.
Maybe 4 on 4 I don't know what's going on.
Just rewrite it now. We got these two numbers now that we're going to use. So tell me what to write. You're a step ahead of me.
Oh. I don't know.
Nick, help him out.
I don't know.
8x squared plus 3x minus 6x minus 16.
Thank you. So, John, you just take those two numbers and replace the 14x with those two. So we make it 4 terms. So it looks like the last problem. Looks like a grouping problem. Or a group. Now, this one hasn't happened for the last couple ones we grouped. There's a negative in front of that 6, so put it inside the group. Just put your little plus sign in between them. Now you know what to do, right, John?
I'm going to here.
Right, which is?
4.
And then what do you get?
2. 5.
Well, the x's go away, right? Because there's one in each. Good. What do I pull out of the next one? Yeah, I'm still after you.
All right. 3. Negative 3.
Good. Since that's negative, you pull that out, and the 3?
3. No.
Divide, remember?
Yeah, 1. 3. 2.
2. Don't forget.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the 5.
Good. So Carter, what's my answer?
4x minus 3, 2x plus 5.
Good. Again, it doesn't matter which one you write first. Just one of those, one of those. Questions? Okay. Number 9. Chris Walls, what do I do first?
Divided by 3x. 3xy.
Yeah, 3xy is the GCF. So what's left then, Chris?
27 x to the third minus 1 to the third.
Good. When we pull out the 3xy, the GCF, we get that. What is that 27x to the third minus y to the third called, Michael? Yeah, it's one of those. Well, it's not a trinomial.
Yeah.
2 term.
Yeah. 2.
The cubes, right? That's a difference of cubes. So we bring down our 3xy. Don't forget about that. That's still part of our answer. And then we make 2 sets of parentheses for this. One's going to hold 2 terms, and the other one's going to hold 3 terms. Okay? So what are the 2 terms, Jamie?
Sorry, what?
What are the two terms? Down here, how do I get from here to here? What do I do?
You would, I'm with John here, I don't know what's going on.
Tasha, you're gonna tell us? Cody?
3x minus 1.
Right, we're taking the cube root. So remember, cube root button in your calculator is in math, number 4, and then we put 27 in there. That's where we get that 3. Cube root of 27 is 3. And then the cube root of something cubed is itself, right? So what's the cube root of y cubed? Itself, y, right? So that's what Cody told us. All right, so that's how we get the binomial. Now, what do we do to get from the binomial to the trinomial? You take this first one and do what? Square, right? Multiplied by itself. 3x times 3x. Since that's minus, the middle term is always opposite that sign. So this one's plus in this problem. And then I just multiply those. 3x times y. Just 3xy. This third one is always addition when we're doing these. And then I take the second term and I square it. Y times y. So that's our answer to number 9. Okay?
Can you do cube root in a TI-30?
Yes. It's this button, I believe. It's on the left side, I think. Seconds. So you hit 3 first, then you hit that button, and then 27, then hit enter. Okay, so this, a lot of your calculators do have this button. It's usually a second though, second something. All right, whatever root you're taking, you put that number in. So for cube root, you put a 3 in. Then you put this symbol, and you hit that button, and then whatever number you're looking at, and it'll do it for you. Also, you could do this. One-third power is cube root. 1/2 power is square root. So if you did 27 to the 1/3 power, you'll get 3 also. Anything else, question-wise? Okay, number 10. Mr. Robinson, what do we do first?
GCF?
GCF, is there one?
Yeah.
What is it?
2xy.
Good. And then divide that, what do you get?
5x plus 3 minus 7.
Good. So divide all 3 of those by the 2xy. You get those 3 numbers. You should get 3 numbers in there because you started with 3. And is that some trinomial? Is that a trinomial that's factorable, the way that is? No. Okay. So we're done. So all that was taking out the GCF and you're done. Okay. Again, normally my quizzes are just like the practice. And I just change the numbers up. Tomorrow's quiz is even a little easier than this. Some of these are kind of tricky, tough. I don't even have too many tricky ones on there tomorrow. Hardly, or maybe none. It's pretty easy. Take your time. Don't go so fast that you make careless mistakes. But it's still got 12 problems. Okay, this one's like 1 in 8, where there's no GCF. It's got 3 terms, and those are not both positive perfect squares. So it's a regular trinomial. And my a is not 1, so I got to multiply 3 times -4. So So what factors of negative 12 will add up to 11, Garrett? I got like 6 possibilities.
Multiply to 12 and add to 11.
Right, negative 12 and adds to 11. Yeah.
12, 1,
Right, which one's positive, which one's negative?
negative 1.
Good. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. So rewrite it. So we're gonna rewrite the 11 with those two, and then we're doing our grouping. Oh, I get red. They're doing black. Okay. So what comes out of my first group? Liam.
PCF
Yeah,
of the first group.
yeah.
Yes.
Good. What's left?
X plus 4.
Good. What comes out of the second group? Abram.
Just negative 1.
Right. What do you get?
X plus 4.
All right. Tasha, what's my answer? Good. Guys are getting this? Any questions? Okay, last one. Sydney, what'd you try to do first? Yeah, what we always look for first. Right, is there one? No. Is it a difference of squares, Ashton?
No.
No. Is it a sum or difference of cubes, Jamie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So don't do this and say yes.
Yeah.
Say this and say yes. Yeah, it is a difference of cubes. So Kyle, what goes in the front?
Let me see.
2x1 is
3y.
3y, yeah. The cube root of 8x cubed is 2x. Since that's a minus, this is a minus. If that was addition, then that would be addition there. And then 27, the cube root of 27y cubed is 3y. Okay? So what goes in the big one? What's the first term? 4x squared. 2x times 2x. Is it addition or subtraction for the middle? Addition. Why? Opposite of that one. And what is in the middle? 6xy. Multiply. 2x times 3y. What symbol is always here? Addition. And what goes on the end? Right. 9y squared. 3y times 3y. Do you think you're ready? If you think you're ready, you should be. I mean, you shouldn't have to do anything tonight. If you think you're not sure, maybe just do all those again and then check them. Just practice. Again, if you understand all of those, tomorrow's quiz will be really easy. Okay? So, remember, some of you didn't submit. If you submit late and you do it all, I'll still give you some credit. All right? Usually Only a day late though. Don't try to give me stuff next week from stuff last week. Any questions? Okay. And tomorrow is our quiz. No homework over the weekend. Really no homework tonight unless you want to practice a little more.